What is up, everybody? You are very welcome along to one of the happiest videos I think I've had to make since being on this channel. Yes, it is the Champions League final preview. The Reds travel to Paris to take on Real Madrid, 13 times champions of Europe up against the 6 times champions of Europe. I'm going to do my best to take you through my predicted 11, my score prediction ahead of the game. Look, there's so many thoughts about this one. It's just a proper European final, isn't it? Liverpool, Real Madrid. It rolls off the tongue. It feels like European royalty, and I'm quietly confident, folks, going into this one. Look, I am extremely respectful of Real Madrid as a club, of their history, of their traditions, of their comebacks. I've admired their comebacks in the Champions League this season. There's a lot to be worried about if you look at Real Madrid, but I would say if you flip it, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you probably look at Liverpool and think, you know what, there's quite a bit to worry about there as well. So, if you're looking at Madrid, obviously you start with a goalkeeper. Thibaut Courtois doesn't need any introduction to us Premier League or Liverpool fans. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. Defensively, though, I think that is one area where we can get at Real Madrid. So, I'm hazarding a guess that we may see Real Madrid centre-back pairing being Alaba, maybe, and Militao. Now, if you add in Mendy at left-back, maybe Danny Carvajal at right-back, it's not a defence that screams European elites or European royalty to me. But after that, it starts getting a bit worrying. You look at their midfield and whether they go with Casemiro or whether they go Toni Kroos and somebody else deeper. Toni Kroos, Luka Modric and somebody else deeper. And then you look up top, you see Karim Benzema, Vinicius Jr., maybe Valverde, whomever. There's quality all over there. So the reason I think we can get at them is defensively. I'm very intrigued to see the battle down Trent's side between himself and Vinicius Jr. But not only that, between Mendy and Trent or Mendy and Salah. There's just so many duels and battles around the pitch. But ultimately, the one area that concerns me most is probably midfield. Now, the fact that it looks like Fabinho will be fit and Thiago could be fit, that's a big boost. I'm hoping Thiago's fit because I'd like Thiago going into this midfield for Liverpool in the final. If you look at both clubs' path through to the final, it's fair to say they've been a little bit different. Liverpool, obviously, maximum points in the group stage, and some will feel, probably rightly, that we had a bit of an easier run through than Real Madrid, and a bit of is probably an understatement, but Madrid have had most of their memorable, magnificent comebacks in this season's Champions League at the Santiago Bernabeu, where, that comeback against PSG or Manchester City, and of course knocking out Chelsea as well. It's been a tough run through, and you've got to respect Carlo Ancelotti as a manager and everything that comes along with Real Madrid. But I feel like we're in a different place since Kiev, and I feel like we rightly have the tag as favourites going into this one, but I don't think it's as big as some of the bookies have it. I've seen some bookies have Madrid 6-4, us 1-2 on, which, I think it's a little bit generous from the bookies. So for me, I think Liverpool maybe slight favourites going into it. And let's start with the score prediction. And as always, anything I speak about in this video, I love to know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. Do drop a like on the video. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to Anfield Agenda for all the best Liverpool content, please do hit that subscribe button. And let's start with the prediction. So for me, I'm going to go 3-1. It's the immediate score that popped into my head when I knew we were going to be playing Real Madrid in the final. I think that's I'm happy with 3-1. I don't want that scoreline to come across as arrogant, by the way, because that's certainly not my intention. I just feel like there's enough going in our favour with Mohamed Salah being absolutely laser focused, with Mane. Maybe if he is going to move on, maybe it's a free hit for Sadio Mane, one last hurrah before he heads off. Luis Diaz. I just feel we've got goals in us, and I feel like this is going to be a good game of football. Watching Real Madrid in the Champions League this season, a bit like ourselves in seasons past, they seem to thrive in chaos, and their games seem to be very open-ended, end-to-end affairs, and that would normally suit us. But I would say maybe we should try and go a little bit tighter, a little bit more compact in how we play this game. Look, I'll always back Liverpool in a basketball game, end-to-end against any team. But I'm very respectful of the form that Karim Benzema is in this season and of the talent that he possesses, the ability to score goals from seemingly situations where no goal looks possible. And then it depends what Vinicius Jr. shows up for them. You know, I've seen Vinicius Jr., I've looked at him in two ways. I've seen a kid that I look at and think, my God, this dude has all the attributes, all the tools needed to be an absolute superstar. And then some other times I've looked at him and I've seen still a raw, not fully developed player, which is of course understandable considering his age. So let's start breaking down our team and what have I gone with. In goal and centre backs, Alisson Becker, of course. And the big question was, do I go with Fabinho, or excuse me, not Fabinho, do I go with Virgil van Dijk and Matip, or do I go Virgil van Dijk and Kanade? And when I weighed on the balance of it, I would probably have gone for Kanade, but I feel like with the pace of Vinicius Jr. and the way Jurgen Klopp has picked his teams in the Champions League this season, I feel like that partnership between Van Dijk and Kanade seems to be one that the gaffer prefers. So let's go with that. Let's give Kanade the nod. And by the way, I think his signing's gone under the radar for us this season with a lot of people. Pound for pound or euro for euro, he is, in my mind, an absolute steal for the money we paid Leipzig for him. And I definitely feel like we got the better end of the deal from Leipzig. I know Bayern Munich got Upamecano, but I always thought Kanade was going to be the better defender, so I'm happy with that. Now we move on to the fullback situation for Liverpool. You're probably thinking this is self-explanatory, there's nothing to discuss here. And you're right. There isn't. As much as I love Kostas Tsimikas, as much as I think that he's a great option for us, particularly if we're looking to attack teams, I think he's a bit more attack-minded than Andy Robertson, who I think Robbo is a bit more defensively astute and maybe a bit more tactically aware than Kostas. But that being said, phenomenal fullbacks, but Robbo's got to play the game. So Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold on both sides. It's again, going to be very, very important. I've no doubt that Madrid are going to try and turn Trent and they're going to try and turn Robbo and try and pin us back and play in behind us. So it's going to be a matter of, can we get a midfield that can come back and help out? We know that our forwards will do it. We know that Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz and Sadio Mane, Firmino, whomever plays, we know they're unselfish. We know they'll work hard. We know they'll track back. So then we go to midfield. What have I gone with? Fabinho, Thiago and Jordan Henderson. Now look, it's probably optimistic for me, hoping Thiago is available and fit and ready to play. What I don't want to happen, and again, maybe I'm going back to 2005 here when Harry Kewell was played, when it was clear he wasn't fit. I don't want Klopp to have to waste a substitution. So if Thiago plays, I hope it's because they're absolutely 100% convinced that he is, ready to go and fully fit. Because if there's any doubts over it, I'd rather that we didn't start him, because I think the psychological knockback if he walks off the pitch, if he had to leave, could be huge, could be detrimental to the game. So that's my midfield. I think that's the midfield that we should be looking to play. I think that's the midfield that gets the job done. So Fabinho, Thiago and Jordan Henderson. You could go for Naby Keita, but I don't know. I'm still unsure which Naby Keita would show up. And I think with this team, it gives us more balance. We know Jordan Henderson is a great playing and working relationship down that right hand side with Trent, with Mohamed Salah. We know Hendo loves to drop into wide positions as well and whip in early crosses if Trent goes on the overlap. Look at the left hand side, again you see similar relationships. The relationship between Robbo and Luis Diaz has been phenomenal, but if you had Thiago in there with his guile, with his creativity, with his eye for a pass, it screams quality to me, and that's what I think we should have in our midfield. They're going to be up against the midfield with, maybe three of the shrewdest operators in the game. If it is Casemiro, Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, what can you say about those gentlemen? They are quality, and they have done the job year in, year out, both international level and of course at club level as well. So I hope we have our strongest midfield available. Moving into the attack, there's not really any questions for me here. Luis Diaz has to play on the left-hand side. I seen a comment today, I think it was from the former Aston Villa player Gabriel Bonlahor, who said that, and if I'm wrong on this I apologise, but the comment was made, I'm just not sure who it was from, that we shouldn't play Diaz. I don't understand that comment. Lucho Diaz, Luis Diaz, whichever way you'd like to refer to Mr. Diaz, has been a revelation since he's come to Liverpool Football Club, and I would say that he could be the surprise element here to that Madrid defence. So add into that his work rate, his unpredictability. I just think Luis Diaz has to play. And of course, on the right hand side, Mohamed Salah will be certainly feeling there's unfinished business after Kiev, and I've loved and I've enjoyed hearing Mohamed Salah speak about the fact that he is happy it's Real Madrid. He does want, I don't know if revenge is the right word, but he wants to right a wrong that he feels. I love that, and I love he's been so open and honest about it. And I've no doubt that that will drive him on to have an incredible game. And I do feel like we're going to have a great final from Mo. So then it just remains of who goes through the centre. Do you go for Bobby Firmino? Do you go for Diogo Jota? No, you go for Sadio Mane. And if he is to move on to Bayern Munich or elsewhere after the final, what a great last game this would be for him. And I've got a sneaky feeling Sadio will get on the score sheet as well. So that is my Champions League final prediction, preview, whatever you'd like to call it. Alisson Becker in goal, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back, Ibu Kanade alongside Big Verge in the centre of the defence, Fabinho to come back in the six, Thiago Alcantara on the left, Jordan Henderson on the right, Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. And I'm backing our boys to win 3-1 and take old Big Ears back to John Lennon Airport, and we hopefully will be on here celebrating number 7. But if not, we'll commiserate together. But look, I'm really looking forward to it. It has all the makings of a great final. If you're wondering where we're going to be doing our content on the match day for it, we will be on Twitch. We'll be starting from 7 p.m. Full match day program for you. Watch along, post-match show, everything like that. The Anfield Agenda Twitch channel link is in the description below. I hope you guys can come across and join us for either the watch along or the post-match, I hope, celebrations. But either way, however you're going to watch the final, wherever in the world you're going to be watching the final, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a memorable night. Be safe, be well, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Lots of love. Up the Reds.